That's me, breaking a sweat at the gym. I'm not skiving off work. Well, kind of. But it's all in the name of research. I'm looking for a solution to a common workplace problem: burnout. Burnout. It's an issue that's been grabbing the headlines over recent years as more people are acknowledging the pressures of work.
Burnout can occur for a multitude of reasons. Some people can be physically exhausted, other people mentally, emotionally, spiritually exhausted.
But now the term has taken on whole new significance after the World Health Organization officially recognised it as an occupational phenomenon in May. Defined as a chronic stress condition, the WHO says it is characterised by feelings of exhaustion, distance from one's job, and reduced professional efficacy. And the costs can be great.
Last year at work, I did feel like I was reaching the limit.
According to one Deloitte study, 77% of US workers have reported experiencing burnout at their current jobs, hurting individual well-being and costing businesses billions in lost productivity and healthcare expenses. In fact, the phenomenon has even spawned its own multi-billion-dollar industry, which is expected to generate revenues of $8.6 billion by 2025 through innovative programs and apps promoting mindfulness. But could it be that a more than 30-year-old training course, originally designed for the military and professional athletes, holds a solution? I'm at the Johnson & Johnson Human Performance Institute in Singapore to find out.
The Human Performance Institute is an organization focused on driving performance of individuals and ultimately organizations by focusing on their holistic health. It was founded in the early 90s by a clinical psychologist and an exercise physiologist who met at the US Open tennis tournament.
Together, Jim Lower and Jack Grapel combined their decades of experience to pioneer a new kind of training that sought to boost human energy by focusing not only on physical strength, but on emotional, mental and spiritual strength too.
Over the years, they trained many athletes, 16 world number ones. They were then asked to train SWAT teams, FBI hostage rescue teams, and the police departments. And then they moved more into the business world. That's when the CEO of Johnson & Johnson went to Orlando, our headquarters, and took the flagship 2.5-day performance course. After that course, with his executive committee, Johnson & Johnson ended up buying the company.
In the years since, HPI has created a range of courses focused on human energy by integrating performance psychology, exercise physiology, and nutrition. HPI says that gives course participants, also known as corporate athletes, better techniques to manage life stresses, both in and outside of work.
We know from our scientific studies that participants have a greater sense of purpose, we give them more energy, greater sense of well-being, and we actually improve their sleep as well. What that means for them as humans is that they're more present. As an employee, it drives their performance. And from an employer perspective, you get an amazingly engaged workforce.
HPI's courses can last anywhere from 1 day to 9 months, attracting everyone from professionals to entrepreneurs and artists, including Fortune 500 CEOs, surgeons and Olympic gold medalists.
I embarked on this course because I primarily look after employee well-being.
Frankie Go was one of 13 participants taking part in the flagship 2.5-day performance course during my visit.
Definitely very keen to understand how our employees can actually better use energy so that they can have quality time, both from professional and personal.
Participants are required to fill out a series of self-assessment forms before receiving a performance report and partaking in a series of physical and theoretical classes. Talk me through the structure of the programme.
Sure, so the 2.5-day program is all about unleashing human potential, and by doing that we allow them to experience stress recovery but in a really safe, effective and efficient environment.
Practically, what does that look like?
We have 4 workouts across the 2.5 days which people can meet with positive emotions and sometimes negative emotions, but it's a growth experience. We teach people to be more mindful in the emotional part of the program. We ask them to be more focused mentally and to think about mindset shifts around multitasking. And in the spiritual space, we ask them to find their purpose and discover their why.
The training doesn't come cheap though. HPI's 2.5-day performance course costs $5,200. So what are some of the key takeaways?
Specifically in the physical part of the program, we recommend a 1 to 2 minute movement break every hour. and that comes under our motto of moving more. We also recommend exercise smarter, so exercise to a point of discomfort, which is promoted through interval training. We also recommend people sleep better, so a recommendation of 7 to 9 hours per night of consistent and high quality sleep. And lastly, to fuel the body for energy, that's nutrition. So eat light, small amounts, eat often, every 3 or 4 hours, and listen to the body. When you are full, stop eating.
However, as people and organisations become more aware of the perils of burnout, individuals and businesses are investing more and more in personal well-being, and HBI says it only expects appetite to grow in the US, Asia and beyond.
We know that the topic of stress and burnout is not going to go away. With flexible working arrangements, with globalization of businesses and connected technologies, this is going to continue to impact current workforces and workforces for the future.